The P1X Pro came like this in 5 separate addressed boxes. I did appreciate it arriving in this manageable way, making it far easier to lug up the stairs and through doorways. The monitor mount isn't shown in this stack. I'll add that at the end of this main cockpit build montage. Inside those boxes, the components are separated further into smaller boxes and bubble wrap. Since there are lots of small parts we're going to deal with, finding everything clearly labelled does help immensely. The installation manual is a downloadable PDF. It's fully illustrated to guide you through step by step, and I followed this manual precisely, so that's what you're going to see here as this gets built from the ground up. Step 1, connect the 2 long sections of the frame to make this H shape. And now the back piece. These are all 40 by 160 profile, giving the P1X Pro a solid base to work up from. Next, the feet go on. I attached the back feet in the wrong orientation. It's not anything serious, it's just really a case of appearance and symmetry, so ignore that for now. I did correct this later. The seat rails are next. Up to this point, you can easily assemble the cockpit alone, but for all the stages going forward, an extra pair of hands is useful to hold the pieces up while the other person aligns the holes and screws in the bolts. The pedal plate is held up by a thick custom aluminium support and secured to the inside of the frame using 4 M8 bolts. The uprights are 40 by 120 profile, and these are bolted onto 10mm thick plates first and then onto the cockpit frame. Depending on your wheelbase, SimLab offers a choice of different mounting solutions. I picked their wheel deck. It's the universal option that suits my purpose best. It comes pre-drilled to support the main brands. The final piece to go on is the side mount. That's for your shifter and handbrake. Now normally that would be on the left hand side for me, however that will block the side I will be getting in. The wheel deck is adjustable for both height and angle. Likewise is the pedal deck. I have my seat attached and now it's ready for the wheel and pedals. However, SimCat has other ideas. Next up is the SimLab Vario monitor mount. I have the single monitor mount. They also sell a triple screen variation of this, which is essentially an extended version of the single monitor mount. And that means you can upgrade this single monitor mount to support a triple screen layout simply by buying their upgrade package. According to the products page, the mount supports up to 43 inches for a single 16 by 9 and 21 by 9 screen, or 49 inches for a 32 by 9 ratio screen, and for triple monitors, 32 inches per monitor. This is the bracket for mounting a monitor or TV. It comes in 2 main parts and there is some assembly required. There's a few extra screws and spacers thrown in here in case you need them for attaching the VESA plate to your monitor. The mounting plate supports the 75 and 100 VESA pattern. That will cover most monitors. However, if you plan to plant a big screen TV onto the cockpit, you will need an additional VESA plate adapter to support VESA 200 or above, depending of course on your TV. SimLab do sell plates for this, or you can pick up something similar elsewhere that will do the same job. The purpose of the grub screws is for fine-tuning the height and angle of the TV or monitor. When we put the 2 pieces together, it makes more sense. The VESA mounting part hooks onto the bracket and sits against those grub screws, and you simply make adjustments to the screws if you need to. My 42-inch TV requires a VESA mount larger than the SimLab plate. So this is the adapter I bought from Amazon attached to the SimLab one. A quick dry run so we can see in principle how this works. To set the monitor height and distance, you loosen the bolts on either side of the frame, make your adjustments and then tighten. It's wise to do this without the screen mounted. And for obvious reasons, use a spirit level. The TV set is about 10 kilograms, so I can handle it myself, and it went on this easily on my first attempt. Because the TV is effectively sitting on a hook under its own weight, it is stable, but it can be tilted, and this may appear a bit concerning that it could tip off. And that's what these small screws are for. You tighten them up all the way. Although the slack is not completely eliminated, my TV has no way of toppling off. Hopefully that first part showing how it all came together was useful information for you. The build time for this kit should be around 2 to 3 hours, and it is possible to complete the build solo, but having a second pair of hands does help things along the way. Following the PDF instructions, it was straightforward. There were no dramas. All the pieces locked together precisely. Since I am already familiar with aluminium profile, that did probably help a bit too. My other Simracing cockpit is also from SimLab, but with a 10-year gap in between. This older rig has been customised over the years, so it doesn't exactly resemble its original form. The main structure remains intact, but I have stacked a few extra bits and pieces on over the years. What I find interesting is these are both aluminium profile cockpits, one representing the early days of SimLab, and now I have a model here from their current range. And what we have is a big leap in refinement. At its core, still making good use of this versatile material, but now with a host of custom-made parts. The P1X Pro doesn't have the appearance of a traditional aluminium profile sim rig. This is a more elegant design, but no less structurally sound. In fact, the P1X Pro is stiffer than my old SimLab cockpit, and also easier to adjust. The custom wheel plate and pedal frame are quite fantastic. I'll go into this all in a moment. But there is one other feature I want to mention first, and that is not a single 40/40 angle bracket was used in the build. SimLab have managed this feat by drilling through and threading some parts so sections screw together directly, and everything else is the custom parts that don't require angle brackets either. So we're left with clean lines and a cockpit that doesn't have the usual appearance of a DIY aluminium profile build, which can sometimes put people off. Instead, the P1X Pro is all very neat and tidy. Let's dive into the adjustment points, looking at the seat first. The car seat slider rails are directly bolted to the 40/40 profile struts using T-nuts. And that's it. The chair can be moved forward and back. The wheel deck is a meaty slab of cast aluminium, pre-drilled to support hard mounting the main brands. It's secured in the full-length channels running on the inside of the uprights and locked in place by 4 M8 bolts. As demonstrated here, it is easy to alter the elevation and angle of the wheel deck. Once those bolts are tightened, it remains a completely rigid platform that ought to be able to handle the most powerful of wheelbases out there without flexing or rattling. Equally, the pedal deck is impressively robust too. I can't manage to induce a single millimetre of flex out of this. I'm pretty much standing on the brake pedal, and it's doing absolutely nothing to the SimLab pedal deck. It remains unfazed to my effort. You can precisely set the height, angle and distance. It's a very elegant, practical solution, taking full advantage of the aluminium profile channels. Whether you're tall or short, this pedal deck caters for everybody. This is the best pedal mounting deck solution I've come across so far. Completely versatile, easy to adjust, and 100% rock solid. It really is excellent. The only limitation is it's designed for pedals that bolt through the top down. The idea is you line them up to the channels in the profile pieces and then slide in some T-nuts. I have a set of Logitech G Pro pedals attached and the hard mount points are underneath. I managed to get them mounted using some angle brackets lined up to the threaded holes in the Logitech base plate. So it could be possible to do something similar with other pedal sets too, where the hard mount points are underneath. For reference, it is a piece of 160mm profile, so that's what you need to work with. I'm not taking advantage of the side mount just yet. It's certainly solid and will do just a fine job for planting a shifter and handbrake onto and holding it steady. And again, we get some SimLab custom components here that join the profile pieces together. I 3D printed a handy PlayStation controller hook, so I have found a purpose for the side mount, even if it's not exactly what it's designed for. While I had the 3D printer going, I ran out a few cable tidy clips. These twist into the channel and using a Velcro strap provide a neat way to secure those hanging cables that would otherwise spoil the neat appearance of the cockpit. I've listed links below for the models for both the PS5 controller holder and these clips. They are free downloads from Thingiverse. The P1X Pro feet sit under 4 chunky protruding metal brackets. These are threaded, making them individually height adjustable, so useful if you have an uneven floor. Being raised leaves a nice gap between the cockpit's frame and the floor, so it's easier to clean underneath. That's an added bonus, I suppose. The tilted uprights provide a couple of uses. A little more legroom when stepping in and out of the cockpit, plus offsets some of the monitor mount weight. I already went through in some detail earlier on the features of the Vario monitor mount. I should mention the monitor mount is a separate accessory. It's not part of the P1X Pro base package, so if you need it, you do need to add it to your order. I imagine a whole lot of people buying the P1X Pro would get the monitor mount too. The sectioned metal pieces enables the mounted screen position to be altered for height and distance, and like all the other adjustments this cockpit offers, it's a very straightforward operation. This is a very well designed piece of kit that I can highly recommend. It's made from thick aluminium that ensures it can carry a whole lot of weight without any possibility of bending. So whether it's a single large screen or a triple screen setup, the Vario mount is going to do a great job. I have no doubt about that. That's everything covered, so I'm going to start wrapping this one up with my summary. The P1X Pro is SimLab's top-of-the-range cockpit. I wasn't able to find any weaknesses here. You have that substantial base providing the foundation, making it rock solid from the bottom up. The custom parts are over-engineered for strength, just super sturdy in every direction, making them impervious to flexing and essentially unbreakable. The working range of the adjustments is above and beyond what anybody will need. That leaves nothing to chance, so whatever wheel, pedal set and screen setup you're going to end up using, the P1X Pro can deal with it. It combines practicality and attention to detail where it counts, and on top of this, maintaining a stylish appearance. My hardware here, the wheel, pedals and screen are positioned exactly where they need to be for me. There are no compromises. My driving position is spot on. It feels like I'm sitting in a custom-made cockpit. It simply doesn't get better than this. The P1X Pro has now joined my sim room setup as a permanent addition. Not here to replace my older rig, but a second one that can be used for both personal enjoyment and testing future racing hardware, so do expect to see it a fair bit down the line. I'm left with a great appreciation of how well everything is put together and how easy it is to work with compared to my 10-year-old SimLab GT1. Don't get me wrong, the old guy is still very much a mainstay of the sim racing corner and isn't going anywhere, but I can't deny the P1X Pro is something a bit special and does outshine my old cockpit. SimLab have come a long way in 10 years, and that's demonstrated by the quality of this product. It's simply damn good.